Go. There we go. Right, we'll give it a moment. Give it a moment. Thank you all again for the birthday wishes. Feels strange to be 37. And like I said in that video, I feel like it's all lies, isn't it? It's a lie. We're not 37, 40, 45, 50, whatever age you are. We're all just 25, really. It's just a social construct. I don't think there's anyone as young as 25 in here, to be fair. If someone goes, hang on, no, I'm still 21. Like, I don't think there's anyone at that level. Um, I didn't know I was losing my voice. I'm just gonna mute you, Rach. You were muted and you unmuted. So I'm just gonna remute you, sorry. What was I gonna say then? Brain has left the building. Oh yeah, I think I do keep waking up. Like I was telling Kat this morning, like I can only breathe like to like here. I'm like, I know it just feels weird, but I don't. I'm not ill, but I feel like I could be, but I'm still not. And it's, I think there's just no room in the inn. Right. I think what are we? A couple of minutes. We'll give it one more minute, because people are still coming in. Coming in. Right. Da, 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 da. Got loads of shout outs today. Loads of shout outs, which is amaze balls. Right, we'll start with those because I've got an entire list here. So we've got Lauren, who is have we got two Laurens on here? Nope, just the one on this one. Just making sure we haven't got both Laurens and everybody getting shout outs. She's about to start her reverse diet phase, which is very, very exciting. So well done, Lauren. We've got Victoria. So she has gone green for her body weight. So she was already in the BMI green, but now she's gone into the actual green for the body weight as well, which is amazing. Natalie, first ever park run, which I love this. I mean, I again, I'm not really sure that it's my bag, but I love it when you guys do something that you didn't think you would be able to do, and then you actually go, ah, you know what? That really surprised me. And I think that's a lovely effort. So well done. We've got what have we got? I love these messages. So we've got Gemma Thompson and Louise, who both shared, so Louise Rigdon, they both shared their photos and they both actually said something really similar. I don't normally hear this. So I speak to women day in, day out, like where does it bother you the most in terms of your body or what you're not happy with or what you'd like to do something about or whatever. But they're both in these photos, like one obviously the award ceremony and one for the like the wedding photos, and they both said I didn't feel the need to suck in my stomach. And it's that kind of feeling of going, God, like where you can actually just be present. You can actually just live in the moment and not think, breathe in because people are watching or because you're going to look back at these photos and all you're going to see is X, Y, and Z. And you can actually just be in the moment and think, no, I actually really like what I'm seeing here and how I feel. And I absolutely love that. What have we got? Emma, so we've got two. So again, second year health assessment, way fucking better than the first one. Significant improvements, which is obviously amazing. And she did the ice dip as well. So the first time doing that, which we love. And then we also loved Chloe's win, which obviously Kat shared in the group the other day, where she was doing role play. And again, it was the same kind of thing as what we had with Gemma and with Louise, where she was doing the role play within this leadership course. And instead of thinking, oh God, I've got to suck in, or are people going to be looking at me, or she was just able to actually be fully present and just genuinely give it her all for this important course rather than thinking, oh my God, like everyone's going to be staring at me, or I don't like my arms in this outfit, or what, do you know what I mean? Like the stupid shit that we do really give too much time to. And this is why I think going on the journey is so important to actually learn. And this was obviously the conversation we were having the other day about the jabs in the program. And obviously, you guys haven't gone down that route, but I do think it is important to earn your stripes and to actually earn the right to feel the way you want to feel without like thinking, oh God, like people are saying I'm shortcutting. Oh God, people are saying this, or I've not actually learned anything about myself along the way. I think that's why it's really important to go through the actual journey. So there was loads of shout outs there. I mean, everyone's winning. Everyone's a fucking winner. Even if you're not winning, that's life as well. We don't always have those incredible weeks, just as a reminder. So even when we shout them out, we do want to be able to celebrate women. We want to be able to do that because I just think it's inherently against each other. Do you know what I mean? Like the society does pit us against each other, and we want to remember that's not how we want to be. So we can celebrate others and feel like, right, okay, that's where I want to get to. Like I want to be inspired by the women around me, not feeling like you're against them. But so there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I don't know why we've done it to ourselves. It feels like I don't know what happened in 2026, but we're kind of like, right, okay, it's time to level the program up. And obviously, we're always developing, we're always learning, we're always taking on feedback, we're always trying to provide the best possible service for you ladies that we can possibly bring to the table. And Thomas is also heavily involved in all of the background of a lot of things that a lot of people just don't see happening. So shout out to Thomas. He doesn't watch these. He's at jujitsu. Got no idea what's going on. But yeah, he is one of the like thought process, ideas building, as is Coach Cat, as are you guys. Like I say, we are always listening and generating that feedback. So it's been a heavy kind of month in terms of this. Obviously, we've had the summit, we had the merchandise launch, and just as a reminder, the hoodies you will have until I'll keep sharing the link sporadically, but you will have until the 1st of April. Then there'll be a big gap. There'll be a window where we don't actually do the hoodies again for a little while. And again, as a reminder, I probably would think about just, yeah, going up a size or just being mindful depending on how fitted you want it to be. So we've done the merchandise with the hoodies. And now what we're doing is looking at the groups. We actually, so it is really interesting because some people love the community elements and some people are kind of like, ugh. And it can feel a bit overwhelming. And I do understand that feedback as well. And this is one thing I will always say. If you feel highly vulnerable or if you feel like there's too much traffic going on, and let's say you're in a big season of work and you're just focusing in on yourself and you don't have the time to go in the chat, it's not compulsory. You do not have to be like contributing in the chat constantly. You don't have to. That's a choice. Use it if you want to. Otherwise, by all means, mute it. We deliberately split out the announcements so that only I can really communicate. Like you guys can reply to me, but you can't actually post in there. So hopefully things don't get missed. So we deliberately created that. That wasn't even that long ago that we did that. Maybe about a year ago, I want to say. And then obviously you've got, so we've now called it the inner circle. Now everybody will be in the inner circle. And everybody will be in the announcements chat. Announcements is going to stay exactly as it is. Inner circle within reason, I would also say, is going to stay exactly where it is. You can all use that to whatever opportunity you want to share wins, to share how you're feeling, share recipe ideas, or whatever it might be. But then what we wanted to do is actually reflect the 4 phases that do take place within Strong Her. And this has always been the case, by the way. And well, I say always, unless I'm trying to think of anyone as being an OG from like way before I created this. And I don't think there is. I'm trying to think, like I said the other day, didn't I? I was going to look through and see who'd been in the program the longest, but I think most of you have been here since I recreated what Strong Her was actually going to look like. So, the first group is the sculpt phase. Now, I mean, you might have read it already. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. So this is essentially the starting point for anyone that comes into Strong Her. The sculpt phase no, I'm doing it wrong. Fucking, that's one thing about groups. It's annoying as shit. You can't actually order them. That's why Thomas kept deleting them, redoing it, deleting it. Because you can't actually order them in the right fucking order. And as soon as someone comments in one, it'll reorder the whole thing anyway. So it is what it is. So the foundation phase, apologies, is the initial phase. This is the phase where we're getting the foundations right, is essentially the point. So this is where, and it's not necessarily a period of time that we're kind of going, right, okay, this is how long you will stay in each group for, because every single one of you will be going at a slightly different pace to somebody else. Some of you guys might accelerate the process. Some of you guys might take a little bit longer to get to that point. And there is no right or wrong. There is no exact timeline that you need to follow in order to get to where you want to be. And I want to make that crystal fucking clear. So it's not ever a feeling of like, oh God, do you know what I mean? I'm in this group. Because the point of the foundation phase is to learn all of the foundations to go, right, okay, is this person nailing it with their fat loss? Is this person really understanding the nutrition piece, the step piece? Are they really like genuinely training and doing all of the bits of the puzzle? How is their sleep? How are their hormones? All of this is that kind of foundational phase that we're just putting the building blocks in play to go, right, okay. And you might have 3 out of 5, and then we just need to build on the other 2. But that's what we want to work on. So that's going to be the phase that every single woman from this point on will have to pass through in order to then move through into the sculpt phase. So the sculpt phase is when we really feel like, yeah, foundations are strong. They are where we want them to be. And this is where we really start to see kind of that body recomposition piece. This is where we notice the big differences in your physique. So you've probably gone on to either lose a great amount of weight or gain a great amount of weight, depending on where your spectrum is on your starting point. This is where we can see the actual kind of the tonality coming through, and we're really thinking, yeah, you know what, like it's not going to be a million miles away before they're actually entering into the kind of the reverse diet phase, which is obviously moving us into that third group. So what do we call that one? We called that one the fuel phase. I want to teach you how to refuel the fuck out of yourselves. I want you guys to understand exactly what it actually means to be able to consume. We don't want people to be in a fat loss phase forever. It's not where you want to be. It's not where you want to spend all of your time. And a lot of women have obviously gone through the reverse diet phase. Now, this is where the groups get interesting because you might have gone through a reverse diet and then you might have actually we might have either put you into a deliberate mini bulk or you might have accidentally done it on your own. So then we kind of end up going, right, I want to do a bit of a mini cut. And again, this is going to depend on the woman. So sometimes you might even be in more than one group at the same time because a mini cut wouldn't take very long, but you still understand the parameters of the reverse diet. Or we might be like, no, this woman is elite fitness. She fully kind of gets all of the pieces of the puzzle. But obviously the reverse diet phase, like that refuel phase, we want you all to pass through. Everyone that is happy to go through it, as in really wants to go the fucking distance, we want to take you through that reverse diet phase because that is what's going to prevent you from bouncing back to where we were. But also, it's about so much more than that because I don't think I've met a woman yet. I don't think. And trust me, I get it. I've done that. I've lived it. I've breathed it. But I don't think I've met anyone yet where you don't start increasing the calories and they start going, oh, what's this? Or what do you mean? Oh, I thought we were going to do it a bit slower than that. Or, you've increased them again and I'm not quite sure about this. Or do you know what I mean? You have that kind of, and it's very different. You want to be surrounded by women who are kind of going, oh yeah, no, I get that. Trust the process. And you'll hear the reverse dieters say that all the time, trust the process. But it is a bit harder. And like Karen was a great example of this the other day, where she asked in the main group chat, like, what are your tips on reverse dieting, guys? Like, what do you increase? Like, what do you get? Like, great for the reverse diet crew. Do you know what I mean? But they're the only ones that can reply to that. So there's a space to kind of go, right, okay, this is the space for the right questions for the relevant women to kind of chip in who are where you're at or where you're trying to get to, that have been through that, or they're a little bit ahead of you in that, so they can give that kind of advice. And we can give it as well without overwhelming some of the other bits in the program. And people are going, what? What is this? Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of process. Now, don't get me wrong. One thing I'm mindful of is that I think it is good to hear sometimes what is happening in the other groups. Do you know what I mean? So we might still pull bits out and kind of share things, and so you don't feel completely isolated from what's coming next. Or we might decide to, if we think, right, okay, sculpt phase is around the corner, or reverse diet's around the corner, we might decide to drop you into that group a little bit earlier. So we might say, right, you know what? That's going to be the perfect route for you. Or, like I say, you might have gone through the reverse diet and we think, great, Sculpt is actually a great place for where you want to be based, pardon me, on where you're at again. Do you know what I mean? So there's different nuanced ways of looking at it. And then elite fitness to me is like the fucking like the serious women who really want to go the distance. And what I mean by that is they really want to do like the events. They really want to do like the photo shoots. They want to do the stuff that is more like athlete level. And they genuinely are. This is, and I'm not saying you can't ever have a mindset wobble in this group. That's not the point of any of them. But these are the women who really kind of go, yeah, like I'm living and breathing this now. Like genuinely, I could ask any of the women in Elite Fitness to coach inside of Strong Her, and they would be able to do it because they have that kind of that ability. They've gone through the program, they understand, they know the kind of where they want to be, and then we're setting new goals, new levels, new devils, like, and again, like bulking, cutting, that kind of where they've really got like the confidence in themselves, in their body, in their skin, in the program, in us as coaches to go, right, okay, yeah, I am prepared to take on new things to really drive myself a lot further. So that's kind of those women. Now, we did go through this morning, Kat and I, who we feel like should be where. I don't know if I'm going to share this today. I don't know. I'm on the fence going, oh, there's some women that I'm like, is that right? But the other thing I will say, and also because I did look at the groups before I actually came on live, and I can still see that some of you guys have recommended, or what do you call it? Where you've asked, requested to join. And I don't necessarily, that's not necessarily the group that I would have put you in. And the reason what I'm trying to say is I'm not actually against that. So if you actually think I would really like to be a part of this group and it's not where you've put me, and you can say this is why, and if we go, yeah, you know what? No, I'm on board with that. I'm on board with it. I think like the refuel one is probably the hardest one to argue to get into, and kind of go, well, yeah, if you're not reverse dieting, it's just not the one that you're going to be into. Do you know what I mean? Unless we decide, like I say, to maybe put you in there a little bit early because it's around the corner, so it's good to absorb the advice before you get there. But again, I don't ever want Strong Her to ever feel like a dictatorship. It's advice, it's guidance, it's what we genuinely believe is going to be the most helpful place for you to be. But again, like I say, if you think, actually, I really want to be amongst these women for this reason, or I really want to be in this group because I think this, then like I say, I'm open to listening, to hearing anybody out and going, yeah, you know what, I actually firmly agree with what you've just said. So I'm happy to pull the trigger on that. So yeah, that is kind of the groups. Does anyone have any questions about that? To pop them in the chat box just before we go into like the separate side, just while it's on your brains and while you're thinking about it. But yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow I can actually start dropping you into your relevant groups. And like I say, I think it'll just, will you be moving us around? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, exactly that. So once you, and like I say, it might well be that you end up sat in more than one group where it's like, right, okay, well, I still think you'd benefit from being in this space, but I'm also going to put you into this one as well. Or you might only go into one and I think, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Or you might fucking hate all of the groups and you just go, you know what, I don't fucking use them anyway. Don't put me anywhere. All I'm going to do is just look at the announcements one. So, and sometimes that will be the case because I am mindful of that as well. Of some of the groups might feel quieter. So again, this is where I might feel like I'm going to put you in more than one because I don't want it to feel like, well, this group's really quiet and not a lot gets said, because some of the women in this program are silent workhorses. You would never even know they exist and they are killing it, but you have absolutely no idea because they're just not that present in the community. And again, that's fine. It's not a dictatorship. It's there for those of you who need it to lean into when you want to. But also, I know some of you guys as well, probably more in the elite stages. Some of you guys are really good friends now. And I think that's amazing as well to hear like the friendships that actually get built behind this. So again, hopefully it gives you a space to actually be able to chat with where you don't just have to do it like on Instagram or you don't just have to WhatsApp privately if you think actually it's relevant to quite a few of the women and you don't just have to do it all. The elite fitness phase as well. So we are looking at, like I say, doing some structured events for the women who I feel like you've probably got to have gone through a reverse or at least be a decent chunk of calories because we need the fuel in order to do these events. But we're talking like high rock style events where they will beast you, they will take it out of you. You don't have to be the best woman in the room to take part. But obviously that's a kind of an additional expense, but we're kind of going to look at organizing it and doing it that way. So you guys can actually take part. There won't be any, like, we're not doing it to make profit, so it will just be at the cost of the event. But yeah, I think that's a great level for like the Strong Her 2.0 that we've never done anything quite like that. But the goal is to do it in pairs. So we would try and partner you up with another woman inside of Strong Her, so you don't feel like you're having to do it on your own. I would ordinarily be an available partner, but I'm very much going to slow anyone down this season. I feel like probably don't really want to be partnered with me because you're going to have to pick up my end of the slack. So yeah, but that I love the idea of doing the partner challenges where we actually go to London or Manchester or even potentially in the future across Europe as well. If we can get to a point where we can actually get some HYROX tickets. The events we're doing in the interim are like a HYROX, but it's run by Ministry of Sound, so we're just doing it a bit differently. But we're basically piloting that this summer. Right before we have the baby again, we're just going, let's just see how much we can do in the next 4 months, which should be really good fun. So again, like for the women who want to go the distance, things to really look forward to, like in that kind of periphery. So yeah, you can take it as far as you want to take it now. It's what we don't want to be now is just a fat loss program. I feel like to be honest, it's probably been way more than that for a long time, where it's been about understanding why we do the strength training at the same time, understanding why we want to hit personal best, why we want to do the things that are great for the brain, not just for the body, why we want to coach you around like the emotional eating and like or life events that happen, and why we want you to understand that health and fitness is not just like it's not just an 8 week thing. It's a lifelong thing. Now, I'm not saying you have to stay in Strong Her forever. That's not what I'm saying. But we want you to be able to feel like this is something that you will work on forever, because health and fitness is not just for the short term. I think the women who genuinely go on to do the best are the women that really get to grips with that and go, yeah, you know what, this is going to be something that I chase forever. And again, new levels, new devils. We just move the goalposts based on where you're at and what you want to achieve, or you move your goalposts on where you're at and where you want to achieve. So yeah. And those of you that want to stay in Strong Her forever, that's fine too. We will keep you for as long as you want to stay. But we are going to keep pushing you. That's the point. Like, we want to keep pushing you. And I'm in a new season of pushing myself in a completely different way. And people still think it's crazy that a pregnant woman lifts in 2026, which is fucking wild, isn't it? It's like, what? But walking is way harder. Just saying. Walking causes me the most amount of pain out of anything over and above that I could do in the gym, which is, again, like, it's insane, isn't it? But that's the point. I want to be able to coach you through all the different stages, all the different phases, and surround you with like-minded ladies. So, any other questions on the group side of things? No, enjoy. Go and enjoy your swimming, Karen. See you later. Any other bits or anything that's not clear or, excuse me, that you feel like you want to ask just while we've got that? So we were meant to be looking into something completely different. on whatever day we did that. I think that was Thursday, wasn't it? And then we just ended up doing that instead. I was like, right, okay, Thomas, we really need to actually work on order of our list and not just go right to the bottom one and ignore the top two. So I was like, cool. So we're going to work on them another time. And by the way, like we are always open to feedback, and I really want to say this, like I'm quite hardy. Like it takes a lot to upset me or to make me feel like, do you know what I mean? Like I would rather, whether it's feedback, whether it's more like constructive criticism, whether it's more to do with growth, development of the program, of the coaches or whatever. Do you know what I mean? If you feel like you've got something to offer up, please just say it. Do you know what I mean? Like honestly, I'd rather hear from any of you than not. And yeah, like we again, usually the summits are really good for that. Everybody's feedback is always really, really good of like developments. Um and potential overnighters as well for that one. So lots to get stuck into. Right, okay, so I feel like we're good on that front. I mean, we're pushing it a little bit with time, but we'll give it a go. So, when's half term? Someone tell me, please. Have you all got different ones? Feel like, I'm sure Kat told me there's this week and then next week is half term. Is that true for most people? I feel like there's always different nuances of timelines and Leo breaks up on Friday for 2 weeks. Yeah, I feel like that's the common one, I feel like, and it is obviously a 2 week half term. Now, Good Friday for us all. Is it Good Friday this week or is that next week? Hang on, let me have a look because I might pivot this talk. No, perfect. Good Friday's next week. So what I'm going to do Easter next week because we're going to run out of time today to do it. So oh okay, so I see. Sorry, Good Friday as in yeah, you don't break up next week, it's the week after. So it's fucking chaos. It's all fucking chaos. Like, why they don't just all have the same set times? I will never know. Um, but yeah, so Easter and navigating Easter is what we'll do the Zoom on next week so that everyone understands around chocolate and all of these different things. But half term is obviously on the horizon, whether it's this coming week, whether it's the following week, like again, a lot of you guys are going to go through it. Routines can slightly shift. But what you want to do, this is where we're talking about that. So, we're talking about the foundation phase. This is what we're talking about. Can you get through that half term and keep your foundations in play? Can you genuinely get through that 2 weeks and go, right, okay, it doesn't really matter that kids are off, or like you might be running around a little bit harder, or you might be having to sort out childcare or drag people from pillar to post or do different things, or you might work in a job where because other people are off for half term, it might create a bit more chaos inside of your work environment because people are around. Do you know what I mean? So they're more likely to do things and get on the phone and sort things out. Or again, you might be juggling because other women inside of the office are on annual leave. So it can impact you even if you don't have children. Do you know what I mean? It can still play its part. So it's just about going, right, okay, are my foundations strong enough? Am I getting the right things right? If I know it's going to be chaos, do I need to do an online shop? Because I'm not going to have the time to get to the supermarket. Do I need to get up a little bit earlier to make sure that sprogs are where they're meant to be and doing what they're meant to do? That grandparents or whoever is helping out in the right direction? Do you just need to set your alarm a little bit earlier to just make sure that the chaos that goes on around children, let's be honest, and it does, do you just need to do that? And again, these are the kind of things that are kind of on you guys. Do you need to go to bed a little bit earlier because you're tired and you're going to run out of energy a little bit sooner? Do you need to think about going, right, okay, you know what? Three training days might be more unrealistic. Or maybe I need to do more from home this week, and maybe I'm not going to get to the gym as much. So, therefore, that's something I need to consider. Right, what's training from home going to look like, and when do I get that in? Or do I need to accept I might only get to the gym twice and not thrice, but it's still better than a kick in the teeth, right? It's still moving the needle in the right direction. Do I need to make things for lunch for hungry little humans that aren't going to derail me? And you know what? Like, again, trying to teach children healthy, nutritious habits is always going to be really beneficial as well. So trying to be like, right, okay, what is everyone going to be having for lunches? Making sure that that's not actually derailing you. So I think for me, I would be trying to do what I normally do as much as I can within reason. Now, some of you guys are flying off on your holidays. Now, have a fucking good time, is my advice. Have a very, very good time. We live in the UK. Not that many of you will be entitled to too many more than 28 days annual holiday a year. 28 days is it that you actually get to have a great holiday, go off, do what you want to do, enjoy yourself. And again, I'd just be within reason. If you're going somewhere where you can walk safely and get some really fucking good steps in, get your steps in. Do you know what I mean? Try and not take the lazy way out. Try and think of the buffets as going, right, what's my palm size protein? What am I having within my breakfast? And again, that protein thinking that's going to be the thing that keeps me fuller for longer. And trying to have some of the nice stuff as well, but without going absolutely crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like I have seen women go on holiday and they come back like plus 5 kilos heavier, and you just think, oh, that's quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like we can expect the water retention to come up, but we still want to be within reason and go, right, okay, like I don't want to come back like 10% heavier than I left. Do you know what I mean? I just want to maybe come back like a couple, 2 or 3 kilos, a little bit heavier, and then I'm kind of within range. And then I know it's just going to be water weight. Flying considerations that obviously you can put on water weight just by going on an aeroplane. It's a bit like when if you ever taken a bag of crisps on holiday and they go whoop, and they blow up, kind of similar thing happens to our bodies. Not quite, we don't blow up, but do you know what I mean? You just kind of swell a little bit and you just hold on to that water retention. Sleep can also be massively impacted depending on time zones and where you're going. Again, sleep, so the time zone thing, well, actually, traveling full stop plays havoc with my digestion. I am allergic to something that I've never quite understood what it is, and I like food too much. Excuse me, I'm not like celiac or anything like that, but I like food too much to care. So I just keep eating and then I make myself quite poorly and then I have to stop eating for a few days on holiday nearly every year. Or I end up really, really sick like I did in Abu Dhabi. So don't recommend that because you will definitely come back lighter if that happens to you. 1000%. So don't do that. But this is it. Be mindful, be sensible. If you know you've got intolerances, don't be a dick like me. Try and be better and go, right, okay, you know what? That might not be a good fit for me. I will try and at least work with my body and not against my body. We will always choose a holiday destination with a gym. That's our lifestyle. I love going into a gym on holiday and training amongst the other people who also train on holiday. I think you are elite at that point. You're just a cut above the rest. I'm sorry, but you are. That's my view. You're just a better human at that point. If you're prepared to train on holiday, you are just better. You're winning at life. So fuck everyone else that's not. Try and do that. Obviously, if you're more like villa style, again, you can get creative. There will be plenty of items across a villa. And even if you're on like more of a gym set program, we could definitely do a home set program where you think, right, okay, Lorna did this beautifully. I think she was the first one to do it. I'm sure she was where she got the are they 2 liters or 2.5 liter water bottles and she filled them up and she used them as dumbbells and I think they weighed about 5-6 kilograms each. Do you know what I mean? That's reasonable to do some split squats with, to do some thrusters with. Like you can definitely do like shoulder, like you can do things with some pretend weights. So again, you can still get creative. Or obviously some places you're most likely going to have a pool. A lot of you guys, or some of you guys are going skiing. Jealous. I know I've been, but still, you can never ski too much. You're going to burn a fuck ton of calories skiing. That's one where if you genuinely ski and you genuinely hit the mountains in the way that I would argue you should, if you're going on a ski holiday, it's not cheap, so you want to make your money's worth, then I would say you are burning energy a lot faster than you can actually put it back into your body. So in all honesty, I wouldn't worry too hard if you go on a ski holiday. I know a lot of it's very like pizzas and chips and pastas and but you need the carbohydrates in order to be able to withstand a week of skiing. Like you are seriously, even if you're shit, even if you're the world's worst skier, you are still going to be burning a lot of energy in pizza. Do you know what I mean? Like the positioning of trying, like it's probably worse than somebody that's a really good skier. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much if I were in that position. And then remember, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks of your life, but I would try and I would take the approach of not accepting to stall for 2 weeks. I would 1000%, if it was me, I might shift the goal a little bit and I might think, you know what, I'm just going to bring it down a bit and might not go for like absolute gold. But I'm also not just going to write it off and go, oh, well, fuck it. I'm just not going to do anything for 2 weeks because it's half a month, you know? Like, I don't think we need to do it. What I would do is pinpoint Easter, which we'll obviously go through next week. I would pinpoint that as my window of like, right, that's a bit of me time. But the other times I'd still personally, I'd be locking in. Again, if you're on holiday, a little bit different. But if you're still staying in the UK, then yeah, I would still be trying to move the needle personally. And that's obviously what we'll be trying to coach you all to do. And just realizing that again, like life can happen and we can still make progress at the same time. Pardon me. Right, does anybody have any other questions? Anything that's concerning you about half term? Anything that you think, you know what, that's just not going to be feasible, or a scenario that you'd like to play out, or if you're going on holiday and you've got anything that you kind of want to go, oh, what am I doing? Anything at all on that topic? Don't forget, drink your water. Mine's gone. Mine's empty. It's just ice now. Right. Anything else then? Anything at all? Oh, by the way, what I was going to say, I'm not going to do it now. I'm gonna record a podcast episode this week. There have been some shit hot questions, by the way, come into me this week. Like complete just on a like one-to-one level, so nobody else gets to benefit. And I nearly was like, can I screenshot this and put it in the group so everybody can benefit from the answer? Because I really liked. There's some just good questions this week. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to record a podcast episode and I'm going to actually just break it down into lots of these different questions. So you guys can just listen back at your leisure. And if anybody else has got any, please do just message me if you think actually I'd like a full deep dive into this subject or this, do you know what I mean? Where it's not just like a really quick answer, you want something a little bit more meaty, then please do message by any means. Or anything you've heard that you think, is this true? Is this not true? Because there's a lot of shit out there online, isn't there? So if you kind of want to even just do a bit of dispelling theories, anything really. So yeah, look out for that podcast. I will let you all know when it's released. Usually Wednesday, I think. I feel like it's in my diary. It's been a hot minute since I've properly done them, so we got to get back into them. I just feel like I've talked about everything, you know, and you go, what else is there left to say? And I'm sure there will be things, but I need some ideas. But yeah, any form checks, anything else that anybody would like to go through? Trying to think. I think I've gone through them directly with people this week that wanted them. And as a reminder, every single person in this program has access to unlimited form checks. So if anything doesn't feel right, and again, even for the gym goers, so I went through this with one the other day, even if you feel like, oh God, the gym's way too busy for me to record this, if it can be replicated at home, like with some baked beans in your hands or any kind, do you know what I mean? Or a wooden broom instead of like a barbell or something. I know there's obviously no weight on it, but if you can replicate the movement, that's really helpful. So like you can just film yourself at home. You don't have to feel uncomfortable in the gym doing it that way. And also nobody gives a fuck. Like I'm a pregnant lady. Like no one cares. Do you know what I mean? Like people look at me, but nobody really cares. And I'm still filming myself, so I feel like, um, yeah, that's that. Right, are we all good? I feel like we're all good. I feel like I've been yammering on and nobody's put anything in the chat, so we're all good. Right, have a fabulous week, legends. look out for those groups, and a reminder, it's not a dictatorship. We will be kind of like open to, if you feel like you'd like to be in a different group, that's absolutely fine. I am going to do that, Ellen, the watermelon strap to him and then the mango boobs, because even they're enormous. I'm like, it's fucking wild. But yeah, we are going to do that. Probably need to be a bit bigger first. But then, yeah, we will do that. Right, have a lovely week, guys, and we will see you very soon. Mwah. Bye.